Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul. And we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 320th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. Here on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host today. Once again, in this weekly series of workshops that's been ongoing for 319 so far, and this is our 320th with members of the Universal Council. And we'll get right into today's show with said members, and let's begin.
Hello, Rick, can you hear me? Because I'm outside.
Yes.
And okay, perfect.
We don't hear the wind at all. You can just talk normal.
Perfect. You tell me if it's too much wind. So I want to say welcome to everyone from wherever you are. Maybe for some of you it will be night, other afternoon, morning, because we are all connected all over the world. And this is the public teaching we do every Tuesday. So welcome for who here for the first time, and welcome for everyone who's come here every Tuesday to share knowledge. So I just wanted to say welcome to everyone. Also, they asked me to talk about as well a little bit about Sanya. So for who didn't know, we had a congress, the third one, and was in Sanya. I found it very, very powerful. Was well organized, and Mr. Keshe was in top form, and they show a lot of stuff that will change humanity for good. Now it's just a matter of make people understand the technology and share it. But there are a lot of breakthrough things as shown in this last Congress. But it was also very, very good to meet all the knowledge seeker in person. That was also very empowering. You feel more empowered. You know more the people you work with. You get to know them better. You see them also face to face. It's really empowering, I think, to see everyone and get to know them. So you really feel this network worldwide. And it was really good to see the Chinese group in action. They're very well organized. They don't mess about. They did a really good job. They were also giving the Keshe Foundation stock for very reasonable price, because they knew we make a lot of distance in kilometers, some of us, to be there and pay for the hotel and everything. So they make the product was sold for very, very reasonable price. And I managed to buy a few stuff, and I never tried before. And I wish I did, because the Keshe Foundation products are really great. I discovered they're fantastic. But I know we're going to the next level. I know that now we're going to stop the production of the guns and going into the fields and work more with the fields of the creation. So this will open other possibility and new development. So I'm really looking forward to the future. So I just want to say welcome to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Estefania. Welcome everybody again for the time to the transition time for be part of the universal community. Transition time for the acquire the knowledge, for the elevation of the all souls. That intro is from 531. Birth is created out of the field of the sun. So it is connected to this itself. It is the mother. And the umbilical cord never breaks. The sun never lets us go out of the solar system into space. It keeps it without the umbilical cord of magnetic field of it connected, and it feeds us through it. But in a way, It is a weakened state less of. So the same, the less of, the same, the lesser. But it all has one common denominator. Thank you. Next, please. Next slide.
Is this the excerpt from the 531 Knowledge Seekers workshop delivered last Thursday? And it's starting at approximately the end of the 17th minute. Is that where we're going now?
I thought it was at 33 minutes to 39 minutes.
Sorry, I had switched over to my Telegram. Go right ahead.
Okay, let's play that then. Excerpt from the 194th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from October 19th of 2017.
Man many times has been brought to this point and is shied away from it. This time there is no shyness. This time the human race and the rest of the beings on this planet will reach the point of maturity to understand the totality. In the process of interaction of the souls, how do we interact? In the process of interaction of the souls, how do we identify and position ourselves in respect to another soul? We have become very familiar with physical interaction. We stand in a crowd and we make sure nobody touches us. This is the boundary of our physicality. But have you ever thought for a second, my soul is crossing his physicality, her physicality, and the guy next to him or her and the guy beyond, because the physicality of the matter state is me in this position, but my soul expands a whole lot. How do we want to understand? How do we mature to understand that when one soul is existing amongst the other souls and the physicality misconducts, how does the other souls which are within it don't need to feel the physical misconduct, but see it through the fields of the strength of the body of the man, through the soul of the man? Nothing is hidden from the soul of the man. And those who become wise to it will understand the totality. And this is the purpose of the teachings. To allow you to understand that the existence of your physicality does not finish with the boundary of the skin of the man. You stand in a bus with your child separated from you 3 or 4 other person apart. You see through your eyes, you communicate through your eyes with the child, but there are people in between. Your soul does not jump to the child, it goes through the soul of the between people, because it interacts with them. This is the reality of the existence. And in that process, you reach your child's emotion or the soul, that it confirms to you, I'm okay, I'm here, doesn't matter, we are apart. But in that process, the people in between, through the energy of the soul of the man, have come in touch with you. They become part of you, because in that process, not only you have reached your child, but you have gone through the soul of the two in between. So, once the man understands this, the color of the man does not exist. Doesn't matter one is black and one is Chinese. Doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. Doesn't matter, there is a dog in between. The soul of the man is colorblind. And this is what we have to understand. The soul of the man is religious blind because he knows his conduct does not need a prophet. The soul of the man is transparent because the others give and take from it, even the child is 2 space apart. The sooner we learn this, the less we spend on arms, and the less we spend on wasted time for man to destroy his own physicality, as the soul, which is in between, needs maturing. It needs understanding. It needs the space gap of the 2 in between is the prejudice of man in respect to his own soul. We have to mature. We have to look as many ways as we can to educate ourselves. There are no universities of the teaching. We have no professors in the soul of the man. We prophesize none, but we understand the totality because we do not need to. We have to understand the soul is the operator of the totality, even the physical body of the man and the need of the physicality. If you mature to the point of understanding, I mature you to the next step. Stand still for a second and understand. If the soul of the man is so powerful that it leads to the creation of the man, why does the soul of the man needs to be fed from outside the body of the man? Do we need to kill, to consume, to confirm the existence? Or do we mature to the next level, that if the soul of the man is the sun, it can feed the physicality internally? Those who mature to this step, they enter the kingdom of creation. This is what we have to move.
All right, that was the excerpt from the 194th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Now, I believe we have an excerpt from the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Somebody like to set that up?
Not Rick. Next is please is to the wishes. Thank you.
Will the Universal Council create conditions for the Keshe Foundation to go to the next level of knowledge in plasma technology?
Next, please. We, the Universal Council, create conditions for the knowledge seekers to gain and spread knowledge to whole humanity about the plasma technology. Our wish is our command. 30 seconds. Thank you. Thank you.
Andrea is speaking. I am part of the German Universal Council support team, and I invite you today to the Soul Connection. Nimm eine entspannte Grundhaltung ein, im Liegen oder im Sitzen. Atme dreimal tief ein und aus. Und nun stell dir vor, wie wir uns alle mit den Händen verbinden. Alle Menschen auf diesem Planeten sind verbunden. Und stell dir vor, wie goldgrünes Licht aus dem Universum in dein Herzzentrum fließt. Ein goldgrüner Strahl, der immer stärker und intensiver wird. Spüre, wie sich immer mehr Wärme in deinem Herz ausbreitet. Dieser goldgrüne Strahl setzt sich jetzt in Bewegung im Uhrzeigersinn. Ganz langsam rotiert er in deinem Herzen. Fühle diese liebevolle und friedvolle Energie in dir. Lass diesen goldgrünen Ball immer größer werden und strahle ihn aus deinem Herzen hinaus in die Welt. Und nun komme langsam ins Hier und Jetzt zurück. Thank you.
Okay, and just like the exercise we just concluded, this is an invitation from the Universal Council that invites the Keshe family and Universal Council family in unifying at the soul level every day at 9 p.m. Central European Time or Central European Summer Time for the elevation of all souls and the protection of the physicality in the universe. We're trying to bring peace to this planet, and working through the matter state is not the most effective way of achieving this. So we're learning to use the half of the equation that we basically forgot about, and that's the energy state of us. And I know Mr. Keshe said in the last workshop that we're opening this mystery of the matter state of the entity to its energy. And so we're huge field generators, and we can bring changes just through our energies, through our fields, through these cosmic rays of transmuting love or transmuting caring, not physically delivering it, because I don't think you can, but through the energies that we all have as huge field generators. And so to bring the peace on this planet, to bring the elevation of all souls and the soul of this planet, which was short of, we add energy to it. And that energy is through our emotions. This is energy in motion. And so we're practicing. We're learning how to give. If it's your wish to see peace, you should join this process. The path of peace is very clear. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving that's going to create that position of change. We all, in a way, wish for it, but do we take it seriously, or do we just say, oh, it's just a wish, and wishes are for children and we're adults, so we have to act through the physicality to bring the change? So this is a new understanding for us, opening up this new dimension of energy, and it's a practice time. And nobody fails this test. That is the beauty of the whole process. Mr. Keshe said he'd handle the physicality and the negotiations of peace in the 5+1, and it was time for us to start practicing with our energies or our soul or our emotions, that we can elevate others by giving to other souls, even if their soul elevates past the position that we're in. That's fine. And this is what we're doing. We're creating an actual practicing this universal condition of giving and taking through the energy level, because the physicality in the universe is not involved in it. So it's not by words and not by thought so much, but by the emotions. And you can give this to the receiver if they'll take it. Again, our understanding is to practice the giving and receiving ourselves. And we don't lose anything in this process. Sometimes we think when we give something, we're fall short because we don't have it anymore. But in this process, you actually gain more, so you can give more. And this is the way we live in the universe, really detached from physicality. So it's a bit foreign to us, but yet it's something we need to understand if we're going to become travelers of the universe in this new dimension of energy rather than the matter state. And this is the way you give and receive. Give freely. And the soul can take what it needs. And when these world leaders, religious leaders, when the soul is satisfied, we will see the physicality change direction. So it's an invitation to everyone to participate in this at this time collectively. Of course, you can do it all the time. You don't have to do it just once a day or once a week. And you can also, I believe, be multitasking when you're involved in this art of giving in a way. As Mr. Keshe said, we need to develop the art of transmutation. We also need to develop this art of giving and receiving on the energy level. And of course, you can do this with your own family, your partner, children, people that you work with. You can even elevate your own soul through this process. And every soul has that ability to reach this status of being able to give. Again, it's not as familiar as giving and taking in the matter state. It's actually a bit uncomfortable for some because we haven't been used to, or we've even denied the existence of this whole dimension of operation of ourselves or our souls or our energy dimension. So we ask you to join us, participate in this universal condition of giving and taking on the energy level. And the beauty of it is, as I say, nobody fails this test. So if it's your wish to see peace, this is the way it's brought about, and you'll see it manifest when we reach a collective tipping point in the amount of people participating in this process. Again, it's not a day job. You wish for a soda, you go to the refrigerator and get the soda. No, it's a little bit longer process. All the souls have to be in agreement, and they have to make the decisions on when this process will actually move. But it's getting us aware of our energy dimension and working in this dimension, which is the way you'll work if you travel the spans of the universe. So you're, in a way, pre-creating some conditions and some understanding for you to operate as a traveler of the universe. So when we invite you all to participate, as I say, every day at 9 p.m. CEST, you calculate your time and just ask your soul to remind you. And you can stay for a nanosecond, for a minute, for 5 minutes, whatever you like. This process also goes on in the Brazilian language community every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on the Brazil Telegram channel and other channels. You can meet them, and also on the daily intentions at 2 a.m. daily that you can, again, CEST, you would join on one of these platforms and express the same sort of thing. You'll just be there with the other souls. Either way, it works. But this dimension of energy is what we're trying to, really the half of the equation that we mostly missed, along with the cosmic rays. So this is our invitation to everyone. If you want to see the change, rather than writing your senator or your congressman or holding placards to bring the change, you join us together collectively, and we'll bring the change through the dimension of energy and see it manifest in the matter state. Thank you. Okay, this looks like it's time for the reading of the excerpt from the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop that was delivered last Thursday by Mr. Keshe and hosted by Rick Cramen as usual. And it starts near the end of minute 17, as I understand it. All the teachings we do, it's not just about the soul and cosmic rays and everything else. It is, in fact, a book and knowledge of how you knowledge seekers and humanity and the rest of the creation in the future will use the knowledge of the fields of the universe for its benefit, for its what we call elevation, and many other things. As I said before, in somewhere down the line, it will come to be comprehended and extended and understood. Is that we thought and we think at a moment in the realms of the science and the technology of the man? If we master the knowledge of those who we see as light in the sky, as UFOs and the rest, we'll be highly educated. We'll achieve a lot of things. But you've got to understand, as I said, there is no difference between a man on a donkey and a man on the rocket space technology of today and what you call the UFO passengers, people who manage to travel the span of the galaxies and universes if you travel in dimension of physicality. So as you all understand, and more or less start to understand the knowledge given to man, what we understand today, what is discussed on the table of the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, so simply and so maturely, is a knowledge even beyond the what you call UFOs. When you carry a craft, you're still tangled in the dimension of physicality, where once you learn the art of transmutation, there is no dimension of physicality. The Creator transmutes his love. He does not send it with a craft. There it is, a ship of love. Here it is, a ship of caring. And this is what man has been gifted. You have had a magnet. And we knew about some materials being magnetic for decades, centuries, till somebody moved it. And then it rotated it within some materials, and the energy split of it became electric current. And now we found a new energy. But magnet was there, and a copper was there, and in some mines are next to each other. Nobody realized the energy. Now we have to come to understand what is inside that magnet, that we make it. We put energy into to make it. We put energy into the copper to make it a wire of it. And somehow when we move one in respect to the other or whatever, energy field cutting creates energy that we use as electric current. But in fact, it has always been there. I'm sure many of our ancestors found magnets, found the property of the magnets, and they must have had something, cutleries, pots and pans next to each other, and never realized the energy because the science of the man was not reached to that point. Now it's the same thing, as now we open the mystery of the matter state of entity to its energy. So it's not what we have found something new. No, we have just understood what we missed up to now about the creation. And this missing of the knowledge is common in the universe. You've got to understand, if somebody on planet Zeus had the knowledge to come to Earth through transmutation and spend a few seconds on the way, would it have made all these crafts traveling? How many of them lost on the way? How many tests were done till they got it right? And most probably, these ships somewhere, they call it UFOs, will make a mistake, and then all passengers gone. Thank you.
So you understand the difference between UFO and rocket space technology of NASA, or Mr. Whoever who's getting into the competition, or nation space technologies like Chinese and the Russians and the Iranians, is nothing but another dimension of physicality. Nothing has changed. Man has not moved into the dimension of energy. And it's for the first time this knowledge, this way of sharing knowledge has started. We are setting the cornerstones for man to be able to have an option between both dimensions of energy of the matter and the matter state of matter. You burn the candle to create light, to create heat. You burn that fuel to create heat, to burn it, to run a generator, to create electricity from it. Now you can make the guns of that fuel and get more energy out of it to his field than actually burning it. You don't need few millions of gallons of it to create megawatts of energy. You need grams of it to create megawatts of energy. This is the change. This is what we are talking about. this is where most of you knowledge seekers are getting lost. Mr. Keshe speaks about cosmic rays. Now it's a new fashion. It's not a new fashion. It is understanding. We have matured that now we can talk about the birds and the bees. Up to now was boys and girls be good. This is about the marriage of the man, amalgamating the life of the man into the universe. Not just boys get on the UFO. We take you somewhere else. We haven't changed your donkey with a UFO. Where both needs energy to be fed, to be taken, to be positioned. Even the UFO uses magnetic field position of being attracted and going somewhere and all the games in it. So now we have to understand this, because this cosmic ray, which is in the magnetic field of the matter state, has become a dilemma for many of our knowledge seekers. Because us, in Keshe Foundation, before used the plasma and confused the scientists. Now we use cosmic rays, and we literally stirred it up. So you've got to understand what is, and what separates the two methods. Even in dimension of UFOs, in the dimension of rocket technology, you're still relying on matter state of magnetic field, wherein what we call cosmic ray. In the plasma technology, you work, you operate on the length and strength of the universal magnetic field, and not its matter state. Because all the matters are connected to each other through universal magnetic fields, or what we call cosmic rays. We start explaining this in much more detail as we enter, and we are preparing everything to be able to show the whole extension of the knowledge of the man from UFO travel, from lift and motion to cosmic rays transmutation in the event to take place in Iran, and hopefully this year, where we finish with the dimension of the matter state, and we bring the dimension of energy state. And this is what is on the way. This is why we bring the dimension of what we call magnetic field patterns, what we call the line of the connection of cosmos together, where up to now we used the matter state magnetic field full of the Earth respect to the Moon. We haven't even got there. At the moment, we'll still find what we call Mr. Tesla, and we look for another guy who's made a car in his name, trying to save you our advance. Thank you.
Does it matter if we see a UFO on the back of the moon? We define another colony of creatures on the dark side of other planet, or we find something else in the space, which is all matter state confirmation of existence. And or would we live in the dimension of energies of the universe and magnetic field connection of the cosmos? Either way, it's a way of transmutation. It's a way of getting from A to B. It's a way of living a peaceful life. Because when you are in the UFO, you still need to be fed. Unless you learn how to use the energy fields that does not need feed. I'm sure those of you who had the pleasure of or are part of the structure of what we call universal community, you eat too, in different shape or form. Otherwise, you don't exist. You cannot continuously take energy or give energy without replacing it or sustaining it. So it does not matter how we find ourselves. They must be of a higher strength, knowledge, or they know more than we do. Then they come understand on top of us. We call them UFOs and we salute them. We wish our knowledge would be like them. But at the end, did it matter if you traveled on a donkey or a jumbo jet? At the end, you had to be fed. You had to rely on the matter resources. Or do you consider to move into condition of the energy resources, which has no matter condition of it, is the plasmatic field dimension. In that process, in that structure, now you find out. Now you understand there is a vast amount of knowledge which we have no clue of. Once we open the dimension of transmutation in the field strength of the carbon-14 or carbon whatever, we have just opened up the first step towards what we call hyperlight system, that we travel in the speed of the light beyond imagination. To what extent would our soul be able to stand the transmutation line? Our physical body with the higher speed suffers in the dimension of what we know as Gs. 11 Gs brings you bip, 50 Gs brings you bop, and you're gone. Is there a G limitation for the soul of the man? Is there a limitation in how fast we can travel this speed, or what's the content of the soul of the man from A to B? Now you understand that the knowledge of what we talk about, cosmic ray, is traveling on the line of energy. And when we talk about the UFOs, what we call Margraf positioning, we are talking about metastate. Would the future of mankind change so rapidly that we put aside anything to do with transfer of metastate? Be it our physical body, be it the means of transportation, be it the means of communication. Do we need any more sounds to make that makes us intelligent because we can put the sounds together and we call ourselves the king of animals? Or are we still animals in the dimension of the universe? We still need to animate it. Now it comes to a point that we have to understand. Now that we understood we can transmute our energy field, as we call it the soul, we need to understand the rule of the game. How the game is played in the universe in the dimension of energy. There is no more metastate. It's understanding the essence of the creation exists. You have to feel the other energy. You cannot see it. There's no tangibility. In the flight systems, which will show in Iran, on the meta side of the energy, you will see there is no containment. There are no reactors. Once you create the reactor, you come down to the limitation of the metastate. But once you create the plasma fields, you are in the dimension of universal fields. As I said in the talks before, we don't see a containment around the sun. We don't see a containment around the moon. We don't see a containment around the Earth or any other planetary system, any tangible system in the universe. We don't see the sun in a container. So till man gets his knowledge to the point that he can make energy sources like sun without a container, then man has achieved for the first time to understand the process of creation. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Rick. So this is the part where we, as a Universal Council, we talk about the 5 pillars. So we've spoken about 3 of them so far: the soul, the ethos, and unity. So as you can see, the next one is service. So being in service, we can be in service in many, many different ways. This can be an aspect of service to yourself in the correct ethos, being humble, being patient, showing your beauty, being correct in your thoughts, your words, and how you act. Being in service to humanity, being in service to universal community, which is part of all of us. We have that connection within our very structure, according to your understanding. So I've been listening to many things today, and there was something that was said by Mr. Keshe in one of the readings earlier on, and it said, there is no pen in the soul of the man. And yet all the words we see here are written down for us to communicate and to understand, to be in service to others, so we can receive a message, the beauty that has been present in this moment. I'd like to do a little reading now. It's about the status of scientists. So this is another service, and this is going back some time. So then, no wonder that certain civilizations of this earth over centuries have been in the doldrums of history, as one nation or race has betrayed the messengers of the soul, and another the messengers of knowledge. These messengers are equal in their status and mission for the progress of man's life in this and future realms, for the progress of man's physical body and soul on this earth and in the universe. By this act, we put the status of scientific messengers on a par with the messengers of the soul of the religions of the past and the future. And from now on, one shall not exist without the other as the prophets of the future. Both realms of the knowledge have to be in harmony, in one body and soul, according to the present universal laws of coexistence, as the human race is to succeed in joining the universal community in the very near future. And as man will be able to enjoy the harmony which has been established in universal communities with all the beauties of their creations in the universe. And this was given by M.T. Keshe, Iranian nuclear scientist, the founder of the Keshe Foundation. So being in service can be very humble. You can be from one person yourself. Listen to this very message right now. Within you, you can be in service to the others. Mr. Keshe is in service to all the souls that are present, countless numbers of souls, elevating and bringing about the change that we all are experiencing in these moments. There was a wish that was made in April the 12th, 2019 by the Universal Council. And it says, "We, the Universal Council, give unconditionally through our soul for our enlightenment to enlighten all other souls." And we are present, the Universal Council. So there's many ways to serve, whether it's being very humble with your own siblings, whether it's communicating with the universal family, whether you are a man, woman, dog, cat, we're all in service to each other. We all are present in this moment, and we all are within the sphere, in the physicality on planet Earth. The soul has no limitation, none. And so you're responsible for your service to others, as your thoughts, your words, and your actions directly create an environment that affects the other souls. So we humbly ask you to be in service to yourself. Create that peace inside yourself. So this creates the peace that we all of us have in this moment when we stand still, sit still, become still in the moment. When we become humble, we create the gap. So by becoming humble, we actually become very large. And by becoming large, we can affect many, many souls. The Creator, Mr. Keshe said many times, would be the most humblest person, humblest soul present around, within everything, would be the smallest, the most meek, the most humble. And by becoming this, he becomes the strongest. She becomes the strongest. We become the strongest, because it's all from the same center point of creation that sits within your structure, a part of. And when we use that beauty that's within us, we create the fields of joy, happiness, love, and all the other things that we can name through the pen, through the understanding, through the languages of man. This knowledge is universal. The Universal Council is present in this moment in service to elevate humanity and all the souls that are present. They give freely and unconditionally from their soul to each and every one of you, unconditionally in this moment, for you to receive. As Mark said, and Andrea has given that beautiful soul connection, when you actually connect the souls, you stop thinking, you become present, you become everything. You become everything. So thank you very much for listening. The 5 pillars of the Universal Council. And this one is service to others, service to yourself, be in peace. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you all. Okay, thank you. So I'm back again. So this is the transmutation preparation sessions. And they are, as you can see, they are every third week of the month, I think is, and the next session is on April the 19th from 9 till 5 o'clock. So from 9 o'clock in the morning till 15, which is 17, which is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And CET or CEST at the moment, I think, because the clocks have now changed. And as you can see, book your virtual seat for your soul. So for you, for those of us that can be present and can afford to spend the money, then you can come in and you can sit and you can be present with the other souls in a very direct communication. However, for those of us who are elsewhere or don't have the money, you can still be present. In those times, it takes just a connection, a thought to be present, to experience, to connect the souls, all souls. And when we do this, then we are going to create, and we have created, the change for humanity, to bring that peace inside each and every single one of us, to receive the knowledge, to elevate, and to receive from a centralized core everything we need within this moment, within this structure. In the physicality, the soul is present. So transmutation preparation sessions, book your seat, be present. And I think you can get a concession if you book a series of them. If not, if you book a one-off, then it's €300. And it would be wonderful to see many, many beautiful souls that are connecting and bringing about the change that is present on planet Earth in this very moment. The elevation of the souls, the elevation of ourselves, and being in service, as I've just spoken about, to each and every single one of us. So enjoy them, enjoy the ride. Book your virtual seat for your soul, and we are present with you. Thank you.
Okay, so we are now talking about transmutation. This is Mosfik once again. We heard from Dean about the invitation for all of us to participate in the transmutation exercise or transmutation exercise with the enhancement systems that we have every month. It's a great opportunity, and it's we can participate it through the mobile phone, and if we wish, we can also try to do it on our own without the mobile phone. A different way of making the wireless connection. Speaking of which, I was in Sanya, so I was exposed to some of the enhancement system or the reactors that have been prepared for the meeting, and it was an amazing experience. And the interesting thing about this experience was that there is, of course, a distinct difference when you are connecting with one of these enhancement units. And one can tangibly feel the difference. There is no doubt about it. But there are other possibilities for one to explore. One of them is to connect to the carbon-14 field of the universe directly. Is it possible? My answer would be yes. Is it different from going through the enhancement unit? The answer would be yes as well. How we explore that connection with the universal field is up to us to direct. We know it is possible. As to what we can do, this is up to us, our soul. How do we engage our soul in this effort of connecting to the carbon-14 field? So I'll give you a strange example that I have. This is some of the things that happened after I returned back from Sanya. After I came back, one of the interesting things was that in the morning, I was getting lots of, dirt in my eyes when I woke up. I know that I live in a polluted city. It's one of the places, along with Delhi, are competing for the top 2 most polluted city in the world right now. But I had I didn't have this problem before I came back from Sanya. So I said, this is interesting because this doesn't happen to me. So I said, okay, so this time what I will do is I will try to correct it by connecting to the carbon-14 field. So what I did is that I said, okay, I know how it feels when this situation doesn't happen. Now I also, of course, know at that time that it feels bad when you wake up, that it's all dirty. Even during that day, it doesn't diminish that much. So anyway, so I know how it feels. So now I can, there is an emotion associated with that, the very physical level. Now I can trace back further in the field strength to other emotions that I have at the solar physicality level, at the soul level. If I can go back, and then there I can decide that I will change the field strength to what it would be, such that my emotion will be that of a clean eye. So I said, okay, let's try this. And I did. And, and sure enough, the first day it was a lot less. On the second day, it's pretty much gone. So it was a very direct, specific experiment I did. There are a few others I did, but this one was, due to a condition that happened after I returned back from Sanya. And I did not use any GANs. I did not use GANs water. It was just done this way. So the one of the interesting aspects of this experiment is that we can actually take emotion from a very basic level of physicality, our interaction with the physical world, and then trace it back to a higher field strength, and then apply the adjustment. the higher the field strength, I mean, of course, the quicker it gets. And some of the more, let's say, more longer lasting situations, it takes a little more effort. And I'm trying to do this because doing it with myself is more difficult than, I have, as you know, I have given you examples of people I treated at the soul level. And there it's because of the detachment, it was easier for me to do it. And it worked. There are many cases now, and some of them are quite difficult. But it wasn't that hard, really. But when it comes to doing it to myself, I have found it to be harder. But so that this transmutation of our energy field or of our emotion at the physical level is possible. Now I'm certain. I mean, there are other examples, of course, but I gave you a very recent example of something that happened to me right after Sanya. I could have connected to the enhancement unit, but my tests were done connecting with the carbon-14 field. So I will be very specific about how I went about doing it. And I would add to it this, although I did not apply it this time, but it seems that connecting with the field of the creator at a certain level is possible. So it's much like the sort of like the understanding that we can connect to the carbon-14 field. And beyond that, there is the carbon-16 and so forth, and going up to the field of the creator. Are these levels of connection possible? Carbon-14 for me is more reliable this time, but others are not as reliable, but it is possible. And the reason I'm mentioning is that, we can all try how to, and this is very practical. I'm not talking anything theoretical understanding on anything. It has to, in a way, connect to our daily living in a way. And these are small steps toward transmutation. So if we can operate at those field levels, as I just given you an example, the transmutation of my eye happened within 2 days, if not one even. I mean, it was very quick. And at first, I mean, the longer time was to just come designing the experiment. So how would I solve it? So, but designing the experiment itself was something of an effort, and I have listened to all these knowledge seekers workshop, listened to all the knowledge seekers as well, but making it personally real to me is more scientific to me, because it's an experiment and with experimental results. And the reason I'm certain about this is that it's not just this where I applied this and it worked. So I am speaking from a level of what do you call it in science? We call it reproducibility of the experiments in other areas. Same techniques were applied and it worked. Yes, there are cases which are harder cases, where things take more effort, or it's not so much the finding the it's not so much application is easy really, but tracing back the field at a higher field to a higher field strength is a little more difficult, because we are too attached to these, at least I am, too attached to some of these emotions that are manifested, or as manifested over a long period of time. But we'll see how far it goes. But it works. And that's all I wanted to share, is that an experimental result, and anyone can apply it. And if anyone has any question or confusion about it, I can be more explicit about specific needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mosfeq.
Thank you, my dear Mosfeq.
Sorry, Sweta. Can I just quickly say something?
Oh, please go on.
Thank you,
Please
thank you,
go on.
Sweta. Sorry to jump in. Mosfeq, can I ask a question? So you spoke about having some sort of film or dust or something that collected it in your eye. Can you expand upon that a little bit more?
Yeah, when we go to sleep in the morning, sometimes you have like some, things in your eyes, which is kind of like, it's hard to open your eyes, kind of sticky, that kind of feeling. Sometimes it happens, sometimes, but not all the time. And this was consistently happening in case of me after I got back. So something really has changed in whether it's in my sleep pattern, the environment, or anything. I don't know what it did. Something changed on my return from Sani. And, it happens naturally. It happens a little bit, but not to this extent. And then, now it's gone. And now even the little bit that normally happens, that doesn't happen either. It's completely gone. So I feel like I'm just waking up as if there's, in the morning it's harder to focus and all that kind of. None of this happened. It actually made things a lot better than what it used to be. But anyways, you have to remove these dust and wash your eye to get this dirt off. That kind of problem. But all of us have, people have it, and it's not uncommon. Especially when I go out in the dust, it's inevitable. But I don't know why it was so much more after my return. But it was the way it was, and it's fixed now.
I think, and that I noticed within the in myself as well, Mosfeq, that I had this similar experience, and I remember feeling exactly the same as you've just felt, and being part of it, and seeing some of the participants, yourself being one of them, and seeing the Mr. Keshe explains this as the white of the eye. So the pupil would be the viewpoint where the physicality views from. And when people look up and you see the white of the eye, this would be the soul aspect. This would be looking in a different way. And this would be where the soul would see or would experience from. And I did notice that yourself and many others had this very bright, very clear eyes, very beautiful eyes. And it makes me wonder if the matter state of the, this crystallization is just a cleansing process. Anyway, thanks. Sorry, Sweta, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll let you speak with Mosfeq. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Your kindness always. And I thank you to Mosfeq about. I will add a little, because in KF SSI Bangla, I learned this. Well, of course, I will say enhanced learning of like Mosfeq as a beautiful teacher always gives this clarity. Like when I am also well, I am a little fat person, kind of not very fat, but then what happens is I become tired sometimes, and kind of my when I sit, I wanted to lean down and that because I am tired, kind of that. But this is also uh, hello. This is also a of inner feeling, inner ability when Moshfik teaches about posture. You know that when we say it is tangible indeed, it is physicality, but when we understand the ability from inner realm that we the alignment of the whole body in the oneness, and this is understood in the universal unified field. And when we do so, we we really give this everything respect, you know, respect, even a cell, respect, standing, sitting in a posture. When my father was a homeopath, and because of this concern about human body, he always told us, "Beta, what you have to do is to you have to always wear a sandal or a slipper with a heel, a little heel always. It will make your walk good, your posture good, and put some books, a heavy book or some books on your head and walk like that." I used to do that, and really, I was the posture was good, and because of what I can say, these chaotic things around, and we have leaned on all these chaos, the body has become disbalanced even in the form of posture and our inner ability, eh, you know, squeezed inside, kind of that, not understanding, okay, whatever is happening, kind of that. But now we are really, we have to understand the posture to align our whole body from inner untangible and the coming out of the in the tangibility to sit when we say a wish, sitting straight with the spine straight with a good posture. I will say good posture. So good posture, you will say the wish, and you will understand, you will feel that it is fulfilled, kind of that. So whenever you say you go to the sleep, as Moshfik was saying, that when we were in this laziness or eating and just sleeping and with no kind of um, sitting in a way, sitting in a way, this is a physical form that comes from inside, in the alignment of you, the soul of man with the soul of physicality, and it comes out in the physicality. You sit, so the person who is standing around you will understand that you are not in a mood to receive any negativity, kind of that. I will say, because I have done this, and this is the beauty of this posture, the ability of oneness. And it is understood, always understood in the universal unified field, that when we go to sleep with a posture, that here in India, there's a posture to sleep. In ancient olden times, I will say, my father used to tell me that sleep in this posture, and before sleep, try to have some bath, kind of that. And because of this, the dreams of really, really, we wanted to see comes, at that time. But after these chaotic imbalance of body, I have lost many things at that time. But this is again coming from inside. And when Moshfik said about the posture, I was so happy that this is a tangible and even untangible thing coming from inside, and you are aligning with the whole body. As in this space, we will go with the body. So we have a posture. If you are standing, if you are in service, you say with your bow head, what can I do? This is the beauty of posture. And I thank you, Moshki. This is the beauty we have. And I will say this is I will only say this, that to enhance your posture, understanding your truthful, under you, the inner self of yours, aligned with the universal law, you can change your physical form, kind of transmuting from inside. The even giving somebody or talking with somebody changes. The body, the whole body comes in a peaceful form, and I have experienced this. Experiencing, I always cook and shout. I was cooking. I'm tired. I can't do anything. I have to sleep and I have to take rest. I want to watch TV. So thank you, Mushfiq. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. This is what I wanted to add. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Maybe I will add a little bit to it. One of the things about posture, yes, it is very physical, but there is a feeling associated with it. Our posture, not necessarily how we look, beyond that, there's a feeling associated with it. And the feeling is not necessarily only at the physical level of showing confidence, whatever else people talk about. But you can take these feelings and trace back further in the various levels of soul interactions, or whether it's at the soul of man and soul of physicality or the universal level. And I would even go as far as even to the field of the creator. You can actually trace back your posture through the fields back to stronger fields, and which can provide further guidance in subtle adjustments of the fields at the physical level down to even the posture. So many of these things we often consider in isolation, but are they? Now that we know that we can have access and we can practice it, it comes through. And this is something very built in us, something built in within us. And we can, we don't even have to talk to a person to get some of these state information, their state of mind, emotion, feeling, depth of some of their understanding, etc., etc. But the more we become familiar ourselves, the more we can see it in others. The more we are aware of our own beauty as we explore it, the more we appreciate the beauty in others. How could you fight when you appreciate the beauty? Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mushfiq. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. I believe this is the excerpt from the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Now, I'm just not sure which one this is. I have to have a look here. It will be the electric car one. Okay, let's get that set up. Okay, again, this is an excerpt from the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop, which was last Thursday, March 28th. And it starts, I'm not sure where it starts in the video. I'll just have the excerpt. So let's listen in.
Now we bring in international management. We bring in people who their target is delivering a new technology worldwide and have the support of the government, scientific structure. So, as I said, very soon, in next few months, we make an offer to take over the Tesla cars. The Keshe Foundation will reach that point. All Tesla cars will shut down. We are in that position of the structure. Keshe Foundation, as this international organization, will get an option to Tesla cars in a very, very soon, very, very much sooner than you can think, because nobody needs electric cars anymore. The time of electric cars, these huge batteries, to a country like United Kingdom needs at least 5 factories to produce batteries to support only the cars in the United Kingdom. Each factory costs about $9 billion to build. They found the first sites, but they couldn't complete it because they couldn't raise $9 billion finance for it. Electric cars are not a reality in the world of what we call automotive. And Keshe Foundation has already developed and is developing further that in the next few months we replace battery cars. That's the evolution in science. So is Keshe Foundation going to sell cars, or we bring in one line by line international cooperation about change of science and technology? This is not something new which we are going to do. We went to take over General Motor Car in Antwerp in 2010, 2011 to bring this car out. Then we couldn't understand how it got, I mean, we understood the King of Belgium went against it because we didn't give the thing, and we know the whole story. And then we found out actually the mole of the Belgian government was sleeping in the same bed as us. They knew before us how they're going to assassinate us. So this time we are not going that way. We give international governments time to adjust. All these battery factories which are getting lined up, all these charging stations which are getting lined up for electric cars are obsolete. And for us not to be in danger, we have set it up in a way it goes to governments and different governments. So those of you who talk about what's going to happen to products of Keshe Foundation, this is where we're going. This is where the situation will go. Very soon, gas business for gas production, cooking in the house and everything will change, maybe 2 to 5 years. Then what happens to all the other bits which are involved in? To gas, whatever, production nations like Iran and Qatar and the rest of it. How fast the government will go to it. So, yes, we are finishing with, yes, we are opening a new dimension. One of the first organizations which will be hit by this new development in technology is Tesla cars. It's electric cars, not just Tesla. But it keeps the old tradition going. Automotive cars stays. No engine, no batteries, and nothing else. So, yes, we are finishing with bits with it. Any of you have any products from Keshe Foundation, keep it. It's historical. We go into transportation. We go into what we call, whatever you call today, transportation, aircraft and the rest of it. So, new products is not what is going to come. Just keep your ear open into what Keshe Foundation will announce in the next few weeks and months. We are not sitting back, but we are not releasing anything out till we sort ourselves inside completely. So where does Keshe Foundation goes? there will not be, maybe in 10 years from now, that you don't go shopping on the internet, in the supermarket, on the high street, that somehow, somewhere, your life, what you buy is not touched by what this technology has come. The game has changed in the past few weeks. And we're not talking out of arrogance, we're talking out of hard work, delivering, and we showed what is to come. And in Iran, we show more of. And you knowledge seekers, you've been with us. The sessions of tomorrow is part of that. We are perfecting the art, we are perfecting the technology. And this time, we bring professionals, we bring experts, we bring governments in partnership. And they don't want to. We find there is so many others who are at the moment in the market in the pot. But one of my, to show the technology has to be there to change. And we will show the end of the automotive with batteries, fuel and the rest. Europe has accepted by 2030, 35, there cannot be no cars produced in Europe which has a fuel engine. So we are going through that transition with fuel engine cars in about 10, 20 years, but the rest of the world will be obsolete. The transition is to the battery cars, but battery cars have more problem than the fuel cars. So to go through the pain of the completion to battery car, we introduce a new technology for cars, which has no need for battery, has no need for engines, and literally is what the future is. I don't give electric cars more than 2 years life. You buy the luxury of a car, but you all have the same process. All you need to do, take out your shock absorbers out of your car, place the new reactors, a new control system, take your camshaft out, take your transmission shaft out, take your fuel tank out, take your whatever you call gearbox out, because it's not needed anymore. And most probably third world nations will benefit by this faster than Europeans and Americans. The cost should not be maximum $500. You can fit it in a cardboard box and make a transport system out of it. Technology is there. 2 years. So are we going to new products? We're not. No, we just go for a different dimensions. This is one of our plans. We'll go for Tesla car because it's a symbol of, it's already there to strip it. This car was in a structure to be shown on 26th of December of 2011 in, what do you call it? In Holland, which what we call the Belgians thought they were very clever. They thought they stopped it, but there was, thanks God, they stopped it. Some 12, 13 years later, this car will come out and you will see it. And you understand why Tesla cars and electric cars are obsolete. This is gone. This you see, fuel tank, all the underneath, transmission is in the boot of the car, is in the back of the car. The center point here is where you receive the new control system. You put it on the ceiling of it. This, as you see, is just where your car mechanics, you understand, where will sit your shock absorbers. This is where the new reactors will drop in to replace the shock absorbers. And this is underneath of the car. This is where the transmission pipe is not there anymore because it's not needed. And this is where the engine was. You all seen these pictures before. It's how much more of this room which you put an engine, you bring forward, more space in the cars, or we make it smaller cars. Very compact system. So car prices will drop drastically by at least 80%. Well, you paid 50,000 with all the luxury things in it. You should buy it for less than $5,000 or $10,000 now. Brand new from the factory. This is what we set up in 2011 when we were given the factory in Antwerp by General Motor. And we received the support from the German government to tune of 500 million to set up the factory complete. That time we had two big enemies inside the foundation. One is dead and one is gone.
Okay, that's the end of that excerpt.
Thank you so much, my dear Rick. Beautiful excerpts, always so enhanced way to tell by Masaya Ashraman. Thank you, Keshe. Mehranji. Thank you. Now we can move to the next presentation.
Hello to everyone. We have prepared with Dean a few photos and experiences from Sanya. And Dean will begin with the first 9 photos. And Rick, if you could just go through them, and Dean will tell about his experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you, Rick, for putting the pictures up, as always. Thank you. So the journey to Sanya, like many journeys, was very dynamic. That's one way of saying it. It was the way of traveling is we get positions. We are put into positions to travel in a certain way. And these superstructures, as you see here, I don't know if the sheer size of it comes across on the image, but the structure of this building is immense. And it's a feat of genuine, beautiful architecture and engineering. And it creates like a very big working arena dome for the can't even say the word, sorry, for the application, let's put it that way, for the application of traveling in a physical form by an airplane. And this superstructure is put in place to transport the physicality of man all across the planet. And the implications of the sheer size of this is to be able to take up a human being from point A to point B, to collect them in a position into a place, formulate a a direction, a flow, and then point them in a certain direction, and then transport them to another place. And this building in Sanya, sorry, not in Sanya, but this was the airport. I think it was Shanghai. Was one of those places that we all transmute to, that we all fly to in physicality. And it was a very beautiful building, as I said, and a massive structure to enable us to travel from A to B. So, like the pictures we've just seen with Mr. Keshe, imagine not really needing this building, not really needing this superstructure to actually achieve being able to go from point A to B. It's a very big change of position for humanity. Anyway, next picture, Rick, please. Thank you. So this was the hotel where the conference was held in Sanya, and I didn't know what to expect being present in China. I had no idea, no expectations. I didn't really know what would be present in China. I've seen, like we all have from the West, where we've seen various pictures and movies, and we're given information telling us about how it is. However, when you experience it for yourself directly in physicality, you soon realize that there's a massive structure in place. This was an island off the side of mainland China, and called Sanya. And this island, even though it's a smaller island, had very big infrastructure, very big buildings, beautiful hotels. You'll see later on, wonderful beaches and things that you could you partake in, all the usual things anybody does in the Western world, and it's all present there. I found that the environment and the friendliness and the beauty of the people shone through, and this was obviously the foyer, the main place where you came in to actually to the hotel. And I do know that that particular, I don't know if you realize it, to the right-hand side is a carving, obviously, of the Buddha, and this part. And I know this particular carving was worth, I think it was in excess of $1 million or something to carve it. So there's much wealth in this nation. There's much inspiration, and there's many beautiful souls that can create many beautiful pieces of art, and when you have this many people to actually look after and to communicate to, you have to put in place very direct structures that can handle many beautiful souls and physicality. And I suppose that's why the picture of the airport was so important, because when you have many, billions of people, you have to find a way in the physicality to maneuver and to structure a way so that it becomes efficient, so you can handle so many different souls. And this shone through in the creation of the hotel foyer you see here, and many other aspects of the journey to Sanya. Next image. Thank you, Rick. So this was the bay. This was many of the knowledge seekers from the hotel. We would walk around this bay in the evenings, and sometimes a little bit earlier. And many people would enjoy all the aspects of human life that we all do. And there were many people doing Tai Chi and exercising in the mornings and having a wonderful experience. There were many of the knowledge seekers that walk around here. What I loved was the interplay of the souls that were present in China. Really genuinely beautiful souls that would they actually came up to us and said, "Wow, you're actually present here in our country. Thank you for coming to see us." And it was a genuine welcome, and it was quite a beautiful thing to actually experience that in the physicality, that for the Westerners and for people to come to a position and to be welcomed you know, with open arms and open heart, and you know, all the aspects of soul communication. So it was a wonderful thing, and we all enjoyed walking along this promenade, this beach, experiencing all the local delicacies of the restaurants and things, and the sheer atmosphere of being present in China, in Sanya. Thank you, Rick. Next picture. So as you can see, the vertical friends, there were many vertical friends that, so the vertical friends being the plants. We see them in the West. I see this particular plant. I don't know its name, by the way, but I see this plant many times in shops and in garden centers where people can buy them, and they buy them for their color. But to see it in its true form, in its native form, growing, you know, in its true environment was a beautiful thing. So yeah, it was a good aspect to come to know all the beauty of the vertical friends, and you know, in their environment, and how they, you know, how they thrive in that particular part of the world, in that condition where you know, it's just perfect for them to receive a spectrum of energies that they need, and then they show their beauty to us, as this plant is showing here. Next slide. Thank you, Rick. So this this aspect of it is more maybe on a personal level again, where I've come to know and been part of knowing something about some, I don't know the true culture and all the Chinese, the dragon symbols and everything. However, they've always fascinated me. And I remember having contact within the foundation with some people that spoke about dragons and things before. And then as soon as I focused on that and I thought about it, then I saw this wonderful dragon again in Sanya Airport. I've taken a picture on it on the left, and this was in the airport, and it was illuminated and for all to see, and a wonderful spectacle to comprehend. By being present and creating that that point of view, and that creation, that thought, that being present with that, then this cloud manifested in the sky. I think it was 2 or 3 days later, and for most people they would say there's no relevance. It's just a cloud. However, it had an aspect of I know, a direct, for me, a direct correlation, a direct connection with the focus point of being present with this this particular entity, this soul that I connected with. And I think a few of the other knowledge seekers may have seen this cloud formation and come to understand the significance of it being present and showing itself in that particular form. Next slide. Thank you, Rick. So again, you can see that the beach here and the reflections of the Sanya and part of the structure of being, you know, present along the seashore, the superstructure of the buildings themselves, the light illumination across the water, the feeling the sand, feeling the essence of being present in that particular environment. And many of us can experience this wherever we are in the world, but we all know the cultural differences and the different spectrum of energies we experience when we actually are present in another part of the world. We are exposed to a different set of energies that basically will change the physical structure if we were to stay there long enough. Mr. Keshe has spoken about if the man came from Africa and he walked across and he came to China, then over a space gap of time, whatever that time may be, whether it's a few generations or longer or shorter, that you would become, you know, the Chinese man. You would start to look, you start to have the same features. So that environmental condition creates you know, the environment that you would look like this, and vice versa. If you are Chinese and you come across to Europe, then or wherever, you would start to, you know, receive that spectrum of energies that will create in the physicality for you to start to look a different way. And this can be in many different ways for the animals and the plants as well that we've seen. So it's all part of this same beautiful structure of being present in a physical form, however, having that soul aspect that gently guides us and allows us to use it within the structure so that we can experience the beauty. Thank you, Rick. The next slide. And so this is a picture. I remember taking it and thinking to myself, it was just a wonderful thing, just to the joy and happiness of a piece of art that then creates an image for the fruit. I mean, the fruit are, you know, maybe feeling this inside themselves as they give unconditionally to humanity. And then some human or some soul creates a piece of art and puts it on this wonderful piece of fruit. And it just brings the joy and happiness to, you know, a condition of love, of giving. And it just, you know, it creates an environment that makes everybody receive the right energies that you need to receive in a physical form, even though we know when we actually physically eat, we're certainly receiving apparently 20% of the energy we actually receive is through food, just 20%. Actually, 80% comes from the environment. So that's a very big teaching for humanity. And nevertheless, it's wonderful to experience and see this fruit with a big smile on their face. Next picture, Rick. Thank you. Again, this is a picture outside of the hotel one evening. We had there was a after the conference there was an event where everybody was invited to have a dinner outside, and it was a very beautiful dinner for those that attended. And this is just a picture showing you know, what happens you know, at the front of the actual no, I think it's, would it be the front? Yeah, the front of the hotel. On the green at the front, and people enjoying the atmosphere of being present with each other. You know, the soul's connecting in physicality, and then the soul connecting. Remember, the soul is actually positioned each and every one of us to be present there. Many of us, we walk our daily lives, and we experience the physicality. And we just focus on you know, getting on a plane, walking on a sidewalk, being present in that moment in the physical body. But the soul has guided you there, has positioned you there in that precise time, place, and position for you to experience that particular moment. Nothing is by chance. Nothing. Everything you do in your life is like a script, is like a position, and you are experiencing it, and you experience the beauty, and when you allow yourself and when you open yourself to the understanding of this, then you can experience more, and then you just allow it to your path to unwind, and you'll find that that peace inside you comes, because there's no conflict then. You just experience, you view what happens, you enjoy it. And yes, there's many times where the path can get, you know, more difficult to navigate, to be present on. But once you actually just allow the soul to gently guide you, and then connect with it in this moment with speaking, acting, and thinking good, then you're going to receive the beauty of the soul essence, and you will be positioned into the most spectacular places to experience. And this is on planet Earth in this moment, but we are the Universal Council, and you have within your structure a universal condition. And so this is the beginning for humanity to elevate and come to understand that there is no limitation Imagine this scene on another part of the galaxy, on another planet, in another position. And this was all part of being present in Sanya to start this process, to come to understand the beauty of what we're experiencing in this moment. Thank you, Rick. Next slide. Is there more? Is that the end? Last one? Okay. So this one. So this is Nowruz. This is for the Iranian New Year. And I know it's celebrated, and we celebrated it with Mr. Keshe and all the Iranian people that were present. And it was a very beautiful time to actually to be able to actually celebrate it for real, and being present in that moment. And each part, I mean, I don't know. I know Mr. Keshe has given a teaching about each part represents something very special. But sorry, being ignorant to it, I can't explain exactly what everything is. But I just know and I sense that there is a beauty there that connects everything for each and every one of us to be present and to enjoy and experience the beauty of creation. And I know that there's a deep cultural significance behind each and every part that is there, and it dates back and it goes back to my understanding, to Mitra. This position and this understanding that has then given us all the theology, all the religions, and they all carry their different aspects of it. And so for me, I see the apple there, and for me, it's like CO2. It's as natural as an apple, and it's part of the structure of being present on planet Earth. In front of me, right in these very moments, I have some dried CO2 GANs. And so it's CO2, and CO2, it in the structure of things, it creates an environment where the vertical friends thrive. We saw them earlier on, and because of this condition, they thrive and we thrive, and we need CO2. So, and that apple is part of it, and each part of this, like the mirror, I see a mirror there, and there'll be a direct reflection back of everything. I would love for someone to speak about it a little bit more, who knows the actual condition, but I know it's a very beautiful thing, and it was an honor to be present with all the other knowledge seekers, and particularly the Iranians, and I thank them for their beauty, for showing us, how to experience, the deep cultural beauty that they have, that we all will come to experience when the conference in Iran takes position, and we all look forward to this. Thank you, Rick. Next slide.
Thank you very much, Dean, for your impressions. There are so many, and the memories come back.
They do, Andreas. I'll let you go now, Andreas. Thank you, Andreas. Yes, you explained. Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone for this workshop. Yeah, for me, the whole trip, the whole week there was very much with the teachings of Mr. Keshe. And like I explained last time, it was the communication with the Chinese people, for example. We haven't been able to say everything in words, but then you learn to speak with your hand and feet, but also with emotions. And this was a part. And at the same time, the Sanya statue, the Chuanchin statue, it's called, was a very special experience, and I believe for all of us, because we saw it on the pictures, on the flyers for the conference, and on this day we drove to there, and there are 10,000 of people a day, and this was not the main season. I believe in the main season there are 100 to 200,000 people a day. You go to there 2-3 kilometers from the parking places, and they are driving buses and everything through the people through. depending how much you pay. You can drive with the bus. And this is the view when we the first time saw the statue. And also in the beginning, but on the way to there was a very high energy level. And we had the luck to have a Chinese knowledge seeker with us who was originated in China, but don't live there anymore. And she explained us, you can go to the next picture, please. And she explained us that this is the highest goddess in China. And as you can see, she has a bottle in the hand. And I was explained that she dropped one drop on the earth, and from this drop, life was created on this planet. And I instantly, and I believe everyone now thinks on Mr. Keshe, what he tries to teach and understand us with the drop and the box and the water and the fish, what comes out of it. And interesting, I cannot remember the full story, but this goddess says everyone comes into the sky or universe or to God, but she's waiting till the last human understands it and is lucky or is ready for this process to go in the universe. I haven't got the right words now for it, but it is very similar to what Mr. Keshe is teaching and what we all are learning and doing. And the statue has 3 faces. You see only one side of the statue, and she looks in 3 directions, like kind of she sees everything, like a soul is doing it. And this was very, very much energy when we went to there. And then when we had been at the entry under the statue and where you can go up, there then I saw something and I understood something again, what Mr. Keshe is saying. The people all went in praying. I felt stupid because I didn't go in praying with the hands on each other. And then inside, people were on the ground banging their head against the ground. Also then at the statue, at the toes of the statue, the people were rubbing there and wishing, I don't know exactly for what, but the goddess also fulfills the wishes. And it seemed that the more they rub on the toes, the white was rubbed off of the toes already 1 centimeter. And hundreds of people around just rubbing the toes and going around hours long. And it seemed the more they rub, the more they believe their wishes get fulfilled. And it's nothing stupid about the Chinese culture. I thought in other religions, they go to Mecca. In the Catholic religions, they are visiting churches, and there are different rituals, and all the religions pray to a God which is outside. But from the Mr. Keshe teachings, we know that we are created in the image of the Creator out of a cosmic ray, and this ray is in us, and we are ourselves responsible for our creation, and nobody else, and no intermediary, and nobody else. And for me, it get much clear how the humans over the world are all trapped in this religion business, and they don't know what is it about. But the beauty is that beautiful technologies are on the way, and that sooner or later everyone will understand it and be able to use his soul as his creator. Next picture, please. Thank you. Last time we said we are not allowed to speak about what happened in the conference, but we are allowed what we are personally experienced in the system. I mean, how everyone wants to tell it, or if somebody wants to tell it. For me, the whole trip, like I explained last time already, it was like that we all together had been there. And we knew the Brazilian community is organizing the soul connections, where knowledge seekers from the whole world participated. By us in Sanya, it was 8 a.m. to 12. So we knew circa how, when we were connected all together, but I mean all the time. And they had so many different field strength again and again during the conference in the evening, and where you don't know which field strength comes from where, what are you feeling. For me, and also others explained that in the system, in the fields. But what others experienced, others have to tell. I don't want to do that for others. For myself, knew from the teachings of Mr. Keshe what the system can do. Feeding oneself, you can transmute. You can do this and that. A lot of things, like we all know. And I also prepared myself. I thought some days on the transmutation, how will I do this, and all kind of other things. But on this day, we came with 10 people directly from the conference into the room, which was not far away. And at first, I haven't known anything what to do. It was just, I believe, for every one of these 10 people, at first you go in and you want to experience how it feels or learn to know what is in there. But I, for myself, in the first minutes, I felt nothing. And then we went around, changed positions inside, outside, and I saw a few people who are more or less new knowledge seekers. They are a little bit insecure, and so my first wish was that everyone enjoys the time inside there. We had been 1 hour inside there, and after the time, 5 to 10 minutes, I thought the first time on the Brazilian community and everyone who is connecting to us, and suddenly a shower of field strength came over me. And then I thought on different communities, knowledge seekers, to a lot of people who are here, and I just connected, and I It was that we all are there. And then it came suddenly to my head, we are building a spaceship together. And from this time I started then wishing, and I was totally thankful to be there and to all the love and from all the knowledge seekers as one family. And so it was easy for me to share that. And I wish that everyone in this spaceship feels at home, that everyone learns easy through this plasma to understand. And this process then went 10, 20, 30 minutes long, where I just prayed for the spaceship. I added more and more of my wishes, what it should serve to everyone, also to the plants, to the animals, to the beings, what we are not seeing, the universal community, or also to the planet Earth. And just all was part of it in that spaceship, every soul. And it got more and more beautiful. And suddenly I saw the soul of the system as a light, as a big light, and all the souls as lights from the people in there. I saw also connection lines, but that was not so important, because the more I did that, the more I loved. And I believe I cannot be happier at this time. And after 40, 50 minutes, I knew then, okay, this was the reason why I was there. And I have done my part for this spaceship. And then I tried also other things, and there had been so many experiences, but that's not the topic for today. For me, the feeling to be there as one nation, one planet, one race was the most beautiful feeling what I ever experienced. And I would like to thank everyone, especially the Brazilian community, in organizing this connection. I would like to thank everyone for your support, for everyone who was there, but also for the rest of the universe. And I would like to thank you just for this feeling of being united. And we achieved all together very much there for all beings. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andreas. I also want to say that very, very beautifully you said the images are outstanding. Thank you, Dean. And all the pictures are so beautiful, but the picture of the dragon, your personal dragon, you said saw in the sky of China, that was absolutely beautiful indeed. And the goddess, Andreas, waiting for the last soul being to come. So beautiful, so amazing. Um, Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing this beauty so
And
much. Yes.
this spaceship, what we all have created now, this soul, this plasma, this is serving now in the whole universal cosmos. And it's a beautiful spaceship. Thank you.
Oh, oh yes. Thank you so much. So much happiness. We like, we cannot hold kind of that in physicality, we say, but we can hold it. Thank you for the dragon. Thank you, Majid. Thank you for the goddess. Oh my God. Thank you.
Thank you, Sweta. It's Dean here again. If I can just, I don't want to take too much time up, but just quickly say that under what I can let you know as an experience on a personal level was I felt a much communication through my body, physical body to begin with. I had a very big transition in the physical form. And the physicality was moving and a tingling in the hands. The feet felt very, very heavy to begin with, my legs for a little while. And then I started to allow myself to open to the fields more and become more detached. And once I did this, I started to travel in a different way. So then I started to be like in a dream. Like when you dream, I started to experience different dimensions, different places, and different beings, different physicalities come to see me in this spectrum of fields. And they took many shapes and forms. I traveled many dimensions through, it seemed like black holes and then coming back again. Going to distant beaches and experiencing many different aspects of many dimensions. There was one point where this face appeared before me in the shape of a man's sort of face with like a lion's attachment to it for whatever reason that came up very quickly and then disappeared. And there was another being that I felt the presence of very, very much. And it was a very gracious and incredible moment where I felt the gentle presence of this person on a soul level connecting. And it was quite incredible. The aspect of giving unconditionally and receiving on a soul level is when you're in the right time, place, and position, and when you allow yourself to be. Many people, many knowledge seekers that I've seen experience the beauty, and you see it in their physical form. It brings tears to their eyes when you touch their soul. And I know that there are many people that were present there, and that I've experienced this before, and I saw it in some of the people that were present. When you touch the soul, it is overwhelming, and it takes you to a dimension that for many humans in our forms will find it difficult to come back from. However, we are physical and we love our physicality, but when we allow ourselves to be in both dimensions, the true aspects and the true beauty of the knowledge that is shared is quite incredible. And the most amazing experiences are there for humanity and all the souls to experience when you are present with yourself and you allow yourselves to experience whatever it is, wherever you need to go, whatever it is you need to see as a soul. And it is a very joyous, beautiful experience. That is for sure. Thank you, Andreas, for all your beauty. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Now we can move to the next slide, my dear Rick.
Okay, I think this part is another excerpt from the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Can't believe I have that set up. I think it's about 6 or 7 minutes. Play that now.
Foundation completed the Sanya conference. And we are preparing gradually for the conference in Iran. We're working on, in a way, to keep you aware of what's going on and how this conference in Isfahan will be organized, because there will be a full cooperation between the Keshe Foundation, International Keshe Foundation, Iran Keshe Foundation, and the Iran military forces, Iran Space Development Forces, and the Office of the Leadership and the Iranian government. The Iran conference is not as simple as it was done in Manchester or London or Beijing. The Iran conference, it will be so comprehensive and so extensive that will bring forth a new dimension in aspects of the life and technology. Those of you who are planning to come to Iran, you have to understand the conference in Iran is not a game changer, it's a change of the space technology as a whole. We, as I said, created the room for you to experience the environment. In Sanya, in Manchester was a system on the table. In Iran is the game changer of the development, showing of the technology and delivering technologies which makes the present space technology obsolete. Those of you planning to be in Iran, we have set a very high fee for Iran and Washington as the twin conferences. The reason we have a lot, but be prepared. We are looking around about 25,000 euro for entry for 2 conferences. And your admission is with us, as happened in all the 3 conferences. We try to facilitate your accommodation, but you pay for it. Your transportation, you're getting there, and your accommodation, both in Iran and US, is your responsibility. We try to be as clear as possible in the next few months how the conference in Iran will take shape, that you understand. And it will be present by Iran military, by Iran space officers and government officials, is a show of change and development of the new technology. If you are planning to come to Iran, getting the visa for you and everything else will be arranged internally through by us, that you don't have the mayhems of what we saw happening for those who came to China. But be prepared for presentation of technology which will baffle what we call not only the world of science but the governments. We will not accept any restriction on what we show by no governments and no military forces. We will show pure raw technologies, their use, their advantage, and what is to change. And Iran conference will be the beginning of the change from matter state to transmutation, and show off the technology in what we call, you like to call it, the UFO technology. Those of you who are interested, as normal, as usual, register with the Keshe Foundation. We have not put it on a website. We will not do till very late but you can put your, what we call booking, or what you call your registration with the foundation as of now through the connections you have. This is only for the knowledge seekers, because once we open up, we close the knowledge seekers door. Even in Sanya, we try to accommodate everybody to the last minute. Still on our agenda is around October, November. We have to see how the development goes, and we have to see how we can facilitate and arrange with the Iranian government, everything else. Those of you who attend the monthly sessions tomorrow, the monthly session tomorrow is another part of the space and transmutation, and it'll be a unique way that we split the session into two. If you do not, or come late for the first part of the session, you'll find out you'll have a problem with the second session, or you don't understand or can't catch up with. Because
Okay, I think we went a little over on that one, but that was an excerpt from the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop, the last one of Thursday, March 28th.
Thank you, my dear Rick, for this beautiful script, as always. Thank you, my dear Rick. And now we can go to the next presentation. Here comes again, and as always, bringing the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Thank you. You are so much welcome, my dear beautiful souls, to share, to ask questions. As we are all knowledge seeker learning, we will share with each other the love and kindness we have. Thank you. Welcome. Suswagatam.
Thank you, Sweta. It's Dean here again. So the needs and wishes. As usual, I tend to try and let my soul guide me as much as possible. I try not to jump in front of it in physicality. I try to not think about things, just let myself be guided. And for whatever reason, I found this on the website of the wiki website for the foundation, and I know it's been read before. And regardless of what you think of the originator or the person, it's the soul that's guided these this pen of the man that's written these words. But they have, I think, they have a beauty in them and a significance that is present in the needs and wishes of all of us. And many knowledge seekers will know this, and many Universal Council members will have experienced this before. But the beauty of the words, and when they're spoken in the correct way with the ethos and the intention behind them, I think they bring about a peaceful beauty to each and every one of us. So it goes like this. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and peace. And that was written by Mahatma Gandhi, apparently. And as I said, whatever the intention behind it, the beauty shines through. And those words seem to resonate and bring a beauty that for each and every one of us, if we understand some of the aspects of this through the teachings of the universal community, of the Keshe Foundation, of the souls that are present to help elevate humanity in these moments, I think they have a beautiful significance. And so for the needs and wishes, I hope these words bring some beauty for you in this moment. Thank you, Sweta.
Salute, dear one. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome.
Okay, we did have a question from Saeed in the Q&A here, who says, hello, blessings, Universal Council. Is there any plasmatic fields, water energization and purification technology being developed by Keshe Foundation? A technology which can be retrofitted into our house water systems. Thanks. I did answer, I typed in an answer that there will be literally thousands of new products over the next couple of years as China and other countries take the responsibility to bring the plasma technology to mainstream. Water and air purification systems will be part of that. As Mr. Keshe has said, they're kind of, the Keshe Foundation is selling many of their systems right now just to start fresh, you could say.
Thank you, Majid. And thank you so much. I also want to say to Said that as we have prepared and created this plasma, well, I will say plasma, the water of beauty and totality. Energize, you can say in your way, energize. As always, this is energy. We always do that. And you can, if you have made the gowns, the 4 gowns or the mixed gown, I have done it as a housewife. I made it and I applied and I created this kind of, energetic field strength that never was before in my house, in me, and even in the society. I sprayed them for energizing, enhancing souls, and even in the rivers flowing near where I live. I have put these Gans bottles in these rivers and wishes for the purity of them. And many things many news has came out of this, that in India, where the idols worship, after the worship, they throw them in the rivers, and thus many of things are added, and the rivers got polluted. But after the when I give in this bottle of Gans to the river, after 1.5 or 2 months after that, the government, I will say, has this law that every idol, because idol worship is very common here, every idol should be made like material or the mud that will and merge into the mud again in the river. So that was a beautiful thing I heard, and no chemical, no nothing like that. So this you can apply your way, as you have created this beauty, this energetic water, I will say, as you asked, and you can spray it in your community. You can spray on yourself. You can put it in the water you drink for purity, and as your intention, as you said, that you want to do that, it will do. And this is the learning process we have been through all these years. So this is the simplest way to do that from the beginning, I will say. So, and there are devices, as Rick said, there are mechanisms you can buy, or if you want to create, you can create also. So thank you, my dear Said. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sweta. May I just add something to that? So you're talking about physical forms and the limitations of putting them into houses, and I understand that that this process will take place, and there will be many systems developed by knowledge seekers and governments, and that will come into operation. However, the many forms of GANs, we as a soul, we emanate. We are part of it. We are part of the structure. So when we have a drop, one drop can fill a universe. One drop of hydrogen, one drop can fill a universe. So we can use the oxygen maybe in the water. And then when we know how to use this, then we can create a condition where we will create a new set of sciences that will bring forward many new developments that will enhance and elevate the plasmatic waters and all people that consume, all animals that are part of the structure. We know that water is a physical form. Yeah, the density of water, if you felt how heavy water is, the physical weight of it is extremely vast, large. And yet it creates a beauty when you actually start to open it up. And so this is what Mr. Keshe has been teaching by the condition of using ganses. And even though Mr. Keshe is now teaching to walk away from the GANs, we don't need it. But it's still a part of the process. So for many, it will be the knowledge seekers to come, and as people, the mainstream start to understand some of this technology, then those influences will come through, and many people will, scientists and many other housewives and children will develop systems that we won't even have thought of, but it will touch them in a very beautiful way that will create a condition that will enhance all of us, because we're all in one sphere, we're all under one environment, one small plasma, one drop, one tiny little drop, and we then experience, this particular experiences that we go through in a physical form here. However, when we become that one drop that's part of a much, much, much bigger ocean, and then we allow ourselves to open up to that, then you're going to understand that these teachings and the Universal Council, how much they will become relevant in all aspects of our very existence in this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Majidji. Thank you so much.
I can add a little bit. Some parts of it, purification process, it comes from the understanding of the GANs. And like CO2 or copper oxide, and zinc oxide, they address specific aspects of our being. And water contributes to all aspects. So the level of purification depends on how extensive or thorough you want to be. And some of it has been explained over a period of time in bits and pieces in various knowledge seekers workshop. And with a reasonable understanding, you can create your own purification system. And many have done so. But the thing is that there is no right now ready-made product for that. I'm not up to date on all the products available, but I mean, they're being, most of them are out of production, even if there was one. But, what GANs do, it alters the field of the water so that certain effects that are not conducive to our being, the emotional, the physical, and other aspects, are no longer in the water in a way that they can affect us. So it's You can call it bacteria, virus, whatever, heavy metal, etc. But some of it is removed by the process of that which help us, the way the GANs help us when we use them. So there is no one way to say you do this simply and it happens, but you have to have a kind of like a broad understanding of it and then bring it together, and it's not that difficult to do. And then you can purify water. Yes, you can use a product, of course, but you can also use your understanding. At one point, we won't be using these GANs, but we still will use the understanding of the fields to affect the field transfers that happen, whether it's food, water, or whatever else, or air for that matter. We can create the defense mechanism as we consume it. I understand, it might be a little bit, what do you call it, precise, not a formula that you do this, this, and that, or a mechanical device, you do this, this, and that, and it works. But you can start from this general understanding and then devise your own mechanism. It's not that difficult, but many have done it. So you may try it, or you may wait for a product. In either case, good luck with your effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear Moshli. So much. Beautiful. And yes, if there is any sharing or question, and if not, it's time to wrap up. Going to the next slide, if there is no sharing or question.
I think that's it, Sweta.
Okay, then jumping to the next presentation. Yes, my dear beautiful souls, beautiful, beautiful souls. We are here to serve, not to be served. And well, I will say join, merge, and follow. Love Keshe Foundation. And in the beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, organization of beauty and totality. And this is, I will say I am a volunteer and a lover, a knowledge seeker, and of Keshe Foundation, and and of course a UC member, Hindi language, Shwetanbar. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Be in this space of love always. Thank you so much. We are present.
Very good. Thank you, Sweta, and thank you all the members of the Universal Council and support members and everyone who's put together this wonderful presentation today. And thank you everybody for being here for the 320th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Well, our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time on Tuesday, April 3rd. Wednesday, April 3rd. And folks are invited, whether you're a newcomer or an old-timer with the plasma technology. We cover a number of topics, and anything you'd like to present in terms of your experiments would be welcome in that program. Any questions and topics you'd like to cover as well? Okay, I think that wraps it up for now. Of course, we do have the
Then
Knowledge
what
Seekers
about
workshop
some
coming up
posters,
Thursday.
some dance and music?
Of course, we
Posters of
always
love.
have that.
And
We
Thank you,
always have
Matthias.
that.
Rick,
Yes.
won't you be hosting a testimonials meeting the second Monday of
Oh.
this month, which is next Monday, I believe?
Holy cow, it's coming up awful fast. You're right. Thank you, Mark, for that reminder. Let me just get the date on that. It should be April 8th, right? Second Monday of the month happens to come around quick with April 8th, Monday. That starts at the 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And if you have testimonials of the plasma technology, and especially if you've been to Sanya or attending the other workshops, it would be great to get some personal testimonies of your experiences of that, as well as any of the other aspects of the plasma technology. Lucy reminds us that it's April 8th is the eclipse day. So that'll be a big day. They expect all kinds of havoc on that day. We will see.
Yes. Beautiful day. Rick, thank you. Thank you. Let's dance together. Thank you, Matthias.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes, now it's time to get light and dance and go through the rest of our day. Okay, thank you everyone for attending, and bye for now.